Oh, okay. 6:30, right? 6:30. And we are going live. Okay, all right. Is it ready to roll? We are live. Okay, I'd like to call the November 9th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting to order. We're just got a few things to say before we get started. Number one is, being as we don't have any rezones on here, we can talk about them just a little bit, so we have something come up. Just remember that we have a comprehensive development plan, we have a land use plan, we have most of the city already zoned. So as it goes forward, anytime we have a rezone issue, realize that it's basically saying that we didn't do a good job in the past, and rezones are not something that we really do willy-nilly here as a city. Conditional uses are what fall in. If a zone didn't seem to fit right, we can kind of tailor make it, or we can use a conditional use that's tied to the person on the property or the business on the property. And until that one goes away, the conditional use would go away. So it's kind of a soft rezone. So in the future, just realize that rezones have to have a really good reason to move away from what we already have zoned in the city. And it has to be very judicious, and it has to take time. And so as commissioners, we tread lightly when we go into the rezone world. Just kind of keep that in mind moving forward. And right now, like I said, we just have an agenda of everything but that. So that's why I'd like to speak to that at this particular time. So closing open remarks. Mike, you want to open us in word of prayer?
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. Father, we thank you once again for all of the blessings, Father, that you bestow each night, every one of us. Thank you, Father, that as you come to this time in the meeting, Father, to discuss your business for the city of Jacksonville and the Jacksonville Planning Commission, that we would do it fairly, openly, we would do it pleasing to you in all aspects of what we do and say. And we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Susan, you want to roll call?
Councilmember Deeds,
Here.
Commissioner Montgomery,
Here.
Commissioner Hall,
Here.
Commissioner Britnum,
Here.
Commissioner Twitty,
Here.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Bowman. I see him on there.
Yeah, just unmute there, Greg.
And we're gonna count him. Chairman Stroud.
Here.
Bowling here.
He's here. Okay. All right. Good deal. Okay, everybody had time to look at your minutes. Did we have the minutes this time? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Everybody had time to take a look at your minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes that's submitted? Initially? Okay. If everybody's in agreement to accept them as submitted, entertain a motion to accept as submitted.
Bring motion to accept as submitted.
Got a motion to accept. Second. Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor of accepting the minutes as submitted, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. The minutes are accepted. So it's moving on to public hearings. We don't have any of those, but we do have a request to approve plats. That's item A under 5. It's a replat from Jackson Terrace, 14A, lots 14R and 15R. Petitioner would be Dickie Jones, represented by Bond Engineering and by Aaron Robinson, who is here thankfully tonight to speak to this issue. Aaron, you want to kind of fill us in on what the replats are all about?
Yeah, so basically what this is the back of those lots, whenever we were building the lake, the contractor kind of moved the lake on us a little bit. And so the back of those lots are now going to be basically underwater most of the time. And as the water rises and lowers, you know, in that lake, will depend exactly where the water level is back there. So there's no floodplain issues. So there's no issues with water. What we did was we just replatted the front of the lots where the top of the bank of the lake starts, and then those little triangle pieces is where it slopes down into the water.
Okay, so it's downward sloping water. Okay. Commissioner, do you have any questions?
It's like a good plan. That way they like to maintain them all the way to the lake. No one's there.
Okay, good point there. Jimmy, do you have any input on this?
I don't see no issue with it. It's a good plan. It's a good safe plan for the people buying the lot. It'll save people buying flood insurance, possibly buying flood insurance in the future. Good concept.
Okay, good concept. And Melissa, do you have any input on this?
No, we're fine with it. We had a couple comments. They've addressed the comments we had. We're good with it.
All right, again, any other commissioners have a comment or questions? I think Mr. Robertson explained everything well, so yeah, a great deal. So at this time, entertain a motion.
Motion to accept as is.
I second that motion, William.
Second to accept the replat as submitted. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? There are none, so the motion carries. We have a final plat, which will be item D under 5, and that will be a final plat of Odell Townhouses, Phase 2. Petitioner will be Sean Odell, represented by Bond Engineering. My guess, Aaron Robinson will probably speak to this also.
Yes, sir. Well, so this is a one lot subdivision at the corner of North First Street, and I don't have the plat in front of me. Anyway, and this is it's for townhomes. I believe a month or so ago, you all did a conditional use on this piece of property. So this is just a plat to reflect a one lot subdivision.
Okay, Commissioner, do you have any input? I mean, right now, we still have the street going on to Wolford Street, and it looks like past the mailbox is down there in the bottom corner, right? Or the top corner, top right-hand corner. That's the ingress and egress for a whole subdivision. Aaron?
That is correct. That's where, there's a driveway currently kind of on the southwest part of the property, but we're not going to use that driveway. Instead, we're going to come off Wolford, which is the northeast corner, or the upper right-hand corner as you're looking at the street or at the plat.
Right, okay. All right, you have anything input there, Jimmy, or?
No, that was direction that we give on the previous planning commission meeting. Put the driveway off Wolford as low back as you can, and everything looks good.
Looks good there, yeah, okay. Melissa, you have anything extra there?
I'm still waiting on the formal letter from the water department, but they did make the revisions that they asked them to do. So that's just a technicality. I should be able to get that from them this week. Other than that, we're in good shape.
All right, with that said, do you think that it's necessary for us to put a conditional onto the motion that we make on this? With that said?
Yes, I would do a conditional approval.
Okay.
Just to.
All right, commissioners, you have any other input? Anything? All right, well, then I entertain a motion that we accept, because we've already been through the conditional part of it. We accept with a condition of a formal letter from the water being received before it moves forward to the final. Is that okay with all the commissioners? Okay, then I'd entertain a motion along that line.
Motion to accept.
A motion to accept the final with the conditional.
Conditional.
With the conditional for the formal letter coming from the water.
Yes.
Okay, everybody clear on the motion? Do I have a second? Second. Okay, we have a second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, all right, none opposed, then then that one passes. So far, Mr. Aaron, you're batting 1,000. Now we'll move on to building permits. This would be Odell Townhomes Phase 2. Petitioner Sean Odell, represented by Bond Engineering. And Mr. Aaron, you want to speak to this issue?
Sure. Well, this is the townhomes that are going on that one lot subdivision. It'll be basically the townhomes will look like the ones that are to the south of North First Street. I think that everything's been addressed on this site plan. So I think Jimmy may have a question, and I'll let him answer or ask it, and then I'll answer his question if anybody's got any others.
Okay, Jimmy?
Well, I mentioned something about the drainage plan. I couldn't see the retention basin. That's the only thing that I saw off the top of my head, unless Melissa had something else on there. And I think you sort of addressed that earlier of the grading process, wasn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, and so I mean, I'll go ahead and tell everybody so we've got it on record. Between the buildings and the property line to the south is we basically created a berm between those pieces of property, and it's only about an 18-inch tall berm. And so the water will be detained back there, and it all goes out the southeast corner of the property currently. And I didn't put a pipe in there. I'm just going to put some rock, and I'm going to try and let that filter through really, really slow versus actually having a pipe and letting it all get out at once. It's not a large drainage area, so it's not like we've got a lot of off-site water coming onto the site. So we should be able to fill that up and just let it basically percolate through that levee really slow, so nobody really has that pipe looking at them going, oh, I've got all this water coming on me now. So that's the theory behind it. So you've got to really look at that grading plan to see those finished contours around that south property line and coming up and looping across the east property line.
I'm good with that. The sign area.
Is that the little X's and lines on the bottom, right there?
That's where the existing fence is at. The X's with the line denotes an existing fence.
Okay.
I know that we're not meeting. You can see that.
Oh, right here, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he talked about.
Yeah. Right here. Southeast, right here.
Right. And what are we talking about with the gravel and the pipe and the seepage and stuff like that? That's okay with the city?
That's a normal kind of retention basin
Okay.
construction. But yeah, the picture, Aaron, does not show that very well, but construct that, I can live with that. In this corner right here. what it's referring to.
So those of you that are on by iPhone or on the internet, if you look at lot 1 down on the bottom right-hand corner where the X's and the lines are, which is the existing fence we're talking about, if you just imagine going around that corner, there's a slope toward the corner, a drop off, topographical drop off right there with a little bit sharper drop to the very right of it. That's what he's talking about. And a kind of a modified French drain, right? This way he's describing it.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Hey, what about if you know, just for example, if like 3 days of rain, I mean, is it going to hold? I mean,
You mean?
So yes, I'll answer that because Mark obviously doesn't know my drainage calculations, but yes, if it rained for 10 days and it didn't stop, it's not a matter of it holding, it's a matter of it basically just attaining enough water to where it's all not shooting onto the adjoining property. So yes, if it rained for 10 days in a row, it would hold back enough water to where the adjoining property owners would not notice, as you know, they're going to notice it, but they're not going to notice just this large amount of water just shooting on them all at once. It's going to be, I use the word percolate, it's going to be percolating through there at a slower rate, but what comes in will go out. It's just not going to go out super fast.
thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it, bud.
You bet.
All right. Commissioners, have any other questions? That was basically it, just surface water, runoff surface water.
Less than an acre site.
And of course, yeah, now it's all concrete, so it's going to definitely flow a lot quicker.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody, any questions? Okay. Then I entertain a motion with, it would be with the condition of the surface water drainage plan as, and I say as described by Aaron here, but we have that on, I guess, tape or transcript, right? Susan? Okay. So then, entertain a motion to say that we approve the building permit with the drainage for surface water as described by the engineer. Okay. Okay. Anybody want to?
I second.
I didn't make the motion. Somebody want to make a motion?
Oh, I thought you already made a motion. I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion
All right.
to make sure the drainage is correct and flows away from the lot.
That's an excellent motion. Okay. Do I have a second?
Second, Mark.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay. None opposed. Okay. So, man, you want to try one more time there? You're like 3 in a row right here. Just like throwing breaks. We're going to have another building permit. It'll be for Holland Heights, Track 1, petitioner Wayne Dunn, represented by Bond Engineering. And we get to hear from Aaron again.
One more time, we'll make it. We'll try to make this one nice and quick as well.
That's why
So this is the piece of property that is just south of the Jesus Christ, oh my gosh, Latter-day Saints
Yeah.
building.
the old folk.
Yes. So what he's wanting to do on this piece of property is put up a portable building for an office and sell portable buildings. And so what you see on that site plan, all those proposed displays, those are all the average size of the portable buildings that you can drive to, purchase, put in your backyard, put out on your farm, you know, whatever, for a storage building. You see them at Lowe's, you see them all up and down the highways. They seem to be the new fad, and they're all over the place. We're going to use the existing driveway that's there. And you'll see we're going to extend the sidewalk. We're going to pave the driveway coming in and the parking area in front of the building. The water is already existing. All we got to do is set a meter. There is no sewer at the property, and so what we're trying to get approved from the health department, as opposed to doing a septic tank and leach field lines, is we are trying to use a bladder tank, which would require regular routine cleaning from a septic tank cleaning operation. We've used that in the past, so it's not something that is new and different. It's just you have to set up a contract, a routine cleaning, and the health department just has to sign off on it. The rest of the property out in the front, about the front 150 feet or so, that will all be gravel. So whenever you go up and you decide you want to go look at whatever portable building, you're not walking in grass, you're not walking in mud, you're actually walking on gravel. It's not going to be your typical set up gravel that we do for a road. So that way the water won't just sheet flow off of it. The water will actually be able to drain through it. And that will slow down the amount of water that's going off. And the only thing that I didn't notice in Melissa's comments until her and I talked today was a landscaping plan. And we worked that out, and we're gonna, her and I kind of discuss what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna get her a landscaping plan based on what we discussed this afternoon.
Okay, then, first off, well, Melissa, do you have any addition to this or any comment?
No, it's just the landscaping plan as he mentioned. And of course, we would need the sewer department to be okay with their plan that they're trying to get through the health department. But that, of course, is going to be state permitted because we don't have sewer out there, but we want them to be in contact with Jacksonville as well while they're working this out.
Okay. All right, Jimmy, anything extra?
He covered everything. The pad, the driveway going in, and where the vehicle traffic will be, the parking will be on asphalt. Is that correct, Eric?
Yes, that is correct.
And that is a true statement. You know, there's no sewer available, so whether that option works, we'll have to look at different options. I don't know. That's something the health department will have to approve. Of course, they'll get our wastewater department report, which they, you know.
And is a bladder on the surface cheaper to work with than digging a septic tank put out there, or a small septic tank?
Well, I think it would be cheaper unless maintenance or future maintenance have a percolation. I don't know if we're going to purchase it or not.
Okay.
But I imagine there's very little water usage going to be available there.
Right.
You know, you're talking about 110, that probably have 30 people that be there, very little washing. You know, have bathrooms water out be very small. So
It's kind of set up like a clear flow system, so it's bladder.
Yeah.
What I've seen in some areas. So when they use this system, they have to have a certified septic person come out and certify it twice a year to make sure it's working the way it is. It's just a little less expensive. Probably the land out there to get back in there is probably going to be lower, and it would be harder to get it to hurt. But this system kind of takes care of that. Yeah, and then you have the state. Yeah, you have the state maintain, make sure that it's done right.
no runoff should ever happen.
And with the type of business that's going in here with not very much use, and it's good for building, but let's say that this business goes out and somebody else comes in there, then it would have to be completely, because this permit's tied to this particular business.
Correct.
You totally, okay.
Good question.
This would be good for the sales tax, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this, yeah.
They'll bring their portable office.
Alderman talking to the commission. Okay.
Yes, we need more ready.
So, the way I see it, then, we still have to get a clearing on the ladder, the holding tank, and then, the landscaping plan. That's the only two outstanding things we still have. Now, are there any other questions from the commissioners here? Okay, all right, then, keep in mind on motion that we would, we have a condition of the holding tank, holding ladder, land in the landscaping plan. So I entertain a motion this time.
Make a motion contingent on the approval of the ladder system, septic, and the landscaping to be reviewed and approved.
Okay, have a motion on the floor. Have a second.
Second.
All right, you got a second. Then, all right, everybody clear on the motion with just the two conditions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Aaron, you did great tonight. Thank you so much. I think that's the end of our agenda. So I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
All for your attendance. Thank you.